Hey everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Investors Corner, sponsored by myself at Metzler & Associates iPro Realty. Garrett Metzler here. What we're going to talk about this week is had a really interesting event take place, which was one of my clients, we decided to attempt to purchase a grow-up, former grow-up, obviously. I had never been involved in this before. Obviously, I know quite a lot about the capability of what happens to a home when someone does turn a home into a grow-up, and I know the legalities behind it and a whole bunch of different things. I know that you can go to local police stations to get reports on what homes were previously and are grow-ups. There's a whole bunch of different resources on it in that way, but I'd never actually gone about purchasing one. So the first question was, why would you want to go about this? Well, we found a property, and I'm not going to name the location or anything about that. We found a property that was about $130,000 less than all the homes in the area were going for a semi. So instead of being around 450, 430, depending on what was in the home, it was actually $300,000. So our intrigue with that was that all that was in effect done to the home was the kitchen had been gutted, the two upstairs bathrooms had been gutted, otherwise the home was in phenomenal shape. There were a few other minor things that had been done electrically to the home from damage, but I've seen drastically worse done to a home when it's been turned into a grow-up. So for the difference in cost of what you pay for a semi in that area compared to this, my client was more than happy to install a new kitchen and two new bathrooms, where on a complete bottom end of it, you may get away at around $25,000, $30,000, depending on what you do to all three rooms. So at the end of the day, it was a steal. What I ended up learning, what my client learned in the process, is the drastic negativity that's held to the home no matter what. Unfortunately, mortgage companies look at it for an extended period of time, no matter what, unless it's certified remedied. And even at that point in time, they still look at it with major issues held attached to the home. So the big problem was at first getting a mortgage. You can't go with all the standard lenders. You have to go to a B-rate lender, which ends up charging you much higher interest and requires a lot more down in the home to secure the mortgage. So you're kind of losing out on that massive drop in price right off the bat with that lender. The other issue is, even if you do get the home completely redone, get it certified as in phenomenal shape, it still holds that stigma. And that's the problem. The stigma being there that it was a grow-up for a very long time really makes it hard to want to go in on this investment where you're putting more money down. You're unlikely to be able to get that money out of it even after you fix it, in the sense of, say, remortgaging. And then your resale, once you have done all this effect on fixing it, is still very, very difficult. So unless you're making it for, say, a rental property and you're like, okay, I'm willing to put 30% down and leave it and fix it up and rent it out, you're really in a tight spot when you go to sell, say, 5 years down the line, even if you have a certificate stating that it's in phenomenal shape. So with that, we came to the conclusion that although it seemed really enticing to have your money wrapped into it and then have the risk of having a very slow sale on the back end, it's just not worth it. You have no clue what's going to happen in the meantime. You don't know necessarily whether there's going to be a stigma attached to it even for rental. Most likely not, because you won't actually have to disclose that for rental. Resale you would. So there was just too many issues with it to make it not worthwhile. So I mean, that's not the definitive for any property that was a grow up. I know several people that have done many successful things with them, but at the end of the day, it really depends on your caliber and your capabilities in the business and what you're looking to do, whether or not you want to get involved in something that heavy. So very interesting position for the week. Very, we all learn something new every day, and I definitely learned something, and I hope you did too. All the best to everyone, and have a wonderful weekend from us at Metzler & Associates.